they finally what? I've never used one. They want me to start using one because I tend to make it up as I go a little bit. And he's got notes, and I'm just going to talk. This is great.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming today. Before we start today's event, we'd like you all to join us in a moment of silence to honor the life and the legacy of George H.W. Bush.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Catherine Smith, and I'm the Commissioner of Economic and Community Development for the state of Connecticut. And I can tell you this is a day I've been looking forward to for many, many months. And I thought I would just start by thanking, of course, Ravi Kumar, right behind me, who is the president of Infosys, for taking the enormous amount of time that he did to make a very thoughtful and considered decision about coming to Hartford, Connecticut. You know, I have a chance to work with lots of companies, and they choose where to expand and where to grow their employees. And many of them, you know, sit in their office and have a team of other people that come and make the decision for them, but not Ravi. Ravi came, he spent endless hours here. I think it was half a dozen trips. He met with literally 20 CEOs here in the state. He met with many CIOs as well. He met with the universities and the colleges and the independent colleges here. He met with, you name it, anybody that we could put in front of him that might help him understand the dynamics of our community. And we had tough competition here. The Infosys could have chosen their hub in any location across the country. And in fact, they did visit many, many cities and look at the dynamics of the demographics and the companies that were located in those areas. And, well, just any place could have been their home. And so it is with incredible respect that I'm so thrilled and excited for Hartford that we won in this competition. You know, I want to just briefly thank some people. One person who's not here, Michael Cantor, who hosted most of the meetings that Ravi held here in Connecticut, in the Hartford region. And he was a fabulous host, provided us with many hours of office space and a little bit of food to get us through. But he was just terrific. Trish Paisani on my team, who was doing all the details of all those meetings and has been since working with Ravi's team to make sure that this fabulous day could happen. But mostly I want to thank all of you and you who helped in this effort. Ned Lamont made the introductions for us. Many CEOs who are here spent time on the phone or personally in front of Ravi. The governor himself has been an incredible asset in terms of making sure this deal went forward, as well as many other conversations with CEOs. So I am extremely grateful, and I think Hartford will be grateful for years to come. So thank you all very much for being here, and we're so excited.
So welcome, everybody. We've opened the hub here in Hartford, and we're incredibly excited. I'm Jeff Walker. I will be running the hub here. I've been out in Connecticut for about 16 years, raising kids and doing all sorts of things here. So having this opportunity to grow the jobs. Infosys is committed to 10,000 American jobs in the next 5 years. 10% of that commitment is right here in Hartford, and that's a pretty incredible thing. The theme for today is charting the new in Hartford. You know you're new in Hartford when your building inspector gets a chance to sample your catering on the way out. He liked everything, so we're good. So today, for this ceremony here, we're going to have some brief remarks from folks. Then we're going to break up, and you're going to get a chance to tour the facility. We've got 3 floors, 65,000 square feet. We've got some really cool demonstrations of the emerging technologies, AR, VR, IoT, artificial intelligence, that we've been developing with our clients and with our partners. So we're really excited to have you. So on that note, I'd like to move it over to Ravi Kumar, the man who gave me the opportunity to have this job. Ravi?
Thank you, Jeff. This is such an exciting day for the state of Connecticut. Alan, John, Luke, Ned, Governor-elect Ned, Governor Malloy. Ned is a friend of mine, so I'm getting used to saying Governor-elect Ned. Commissioner Smith and Jeff, and all the clients who supported us. I think this has been such a journey for us. The first time when we were introduced to the state of Connecticut by my friend, Governor-elect Ned, it was almost a no-go for me. I was actually thinking, should we really do it? But as I started, and when I say so, I mean, I was thinking, why Connecticut? But then it just built on me. It built on me the culture of this place, the fantastic academic ecosystem, the businesses, the kind people of this beautiful state, that then I started convincing everybody else in my company that Connecticut is the place to go. So it was a phenomenal journey for us to get to where we are. Just to give you a little bit of context, all large corporations across the world are going through this journey of digital transformation. We do believe digital skills will drive transformation of large corporations who are paranoid about new players. And when we started working with our customers, we realized we need local capabilities built locally in and around our client clusters. That's what the future of digital is all about. And in May of 2017, we actually said we're going to do 10,000 jobs in the United States, tech jobs, digital tech jobs in the United States. Everybody thought, where would they find the people? And that's where we started. In the last 18 months, we have hired 7,000 plus local Americans in the United States. 7,000 plus. We are ahead of the plan. This came from schools around the US, including the state of Connecticut. We hired 1,500 from schools. We repurposed talent from adjacent and legacy talent pools. And we actually created new jobs which did not exist. We actually created new capabilities which did not exist in the market. And that's the reason why we're a very unique employer. We are going to create jobs locally from schools and colleges. In fact, Governor-elect Ned and I were actually just walking by, and we just met a few people on blue T-shirts with Infosys. And he said, are these people from the Connecticut Hartford hub? I said, yes. I didn't know about it, but I said yes. And you know what? We checked with them. All of them were from Hartford. Some actually came from New Jersey. Some came from New York. Some actually came from Massachusetts. Some were locally from Connecticut. So this is going to be a magnet for attracting local talent from all adjacent states in and around the state of Connecticut. This is going to be people coming in from other states, creating an economic activity beyond just the jobs we create, because they're going to live here, they're going to spend here, and they're going to build their families out here. So that's the journey we have been in. This has also been very unique because the businesses actually wrote to us. The businesses wrote to us, thanks to the governor-elect and the governor. The businesses wrote to us saying, you should be in this state. There hasn't been a situation I've actually encountered where businesses have come together and said, this is a fantastic state, we will partner with you, come and work with us. Actually, Alan was one of the first few who made a call to me, and I was so surprised that the CEO of Travelers was actually calling me up on the phone. I didn't believe it, but then I started checking the number, and then I realized that it is a local Connecticut number. That's the power of the businesses. Many businesses stood up. The Cigna CIO stood up. Stanley Black & Decker, Hartford, the Hartford Healthcare, Voya. Everybody stood up and said, "We will work with you. Come to the state of Hartford. Come to the state of Connecticut." We've already hired 50 plus locally here, in addition to the 700 who are already working for our clients in the state of Connecticut. And this 50 are already there on day one when we actually have started this office. And there are a huge number in the pipe. So we're really hoping that we can fill this 3 floors which we have had and actually add more. This is going to be our insurance, healthcare, and manufacturing hub. Everybody looks at Connecticut and thinks it's an insurance and healthcare hub. It's also a secret. There's a secret that it's also a big manufacturing hub in the United States. So we're going to look at these 3 industries. We do believe that it's not necessary that clients in Connecticut have to work out of this hub. We do think clients from other states can actually work out of this hub, and we're going to attract work to come in to this hub. We've started working with schools and colleges locally, and in fact, Joanne and I have had a relationship for the last few quarters on working with the Trinity College so that we can start making that the liberal arts capital for the United States. We have our first batch piloted in January. The curriculum is getting ready. Joanne and her team are actually working hard along with us to get this ready. So Trinity College will actually host our liberal arts story for the United States. So the 7,000 we hired predominantly from STEM, but as we go forward, we're going to hire from liberal arts, from design, and from all other disciplines. It's a myth that digital capabilities can only come from STEM. Digital capabilities will come from every discipline around in colleges and schools. So liberal arts, we are taking a big bet, and that's going to be done out of the Hartford Center.
You should applaud that.
We have started working with the community colleges locally here. 50% of the educational system in the United States actually is with community colleges. We've started partnering with community colleges. Not only are we going to hire them, but we're also going to create a bridge for 4-year courses. So that's the future. Our foundation, the Infosys Foundation, which is in the top 2 or 3 foundations in the United States for computer science education, evangelizing computer science education in K-12 schools and teachers. And you should look up for the foundation. It's the most fascinating responsibility I carry because it has such high impact to the future of America. The foundation, even before the hub has started, has already impacted 3,500 students, 50+ schools, 100+ teachers, and we do hope that the foundation is now going to take a step up and look at the state of Connecticut for K-12 schools. And computer science education, evangelization in K-12 schools and the teachers in those schools. So thank you again. I've been told 5 minutes, so I'm going to stop it now. Thank you again for being here. I'm so honored and I'm so delighted that we are out here. I'm really looking forward to the support of the academic institutions, the government. Commissioner Smith has played a phenomenal job in getting us out here. In fact, every time I've said I want to meet a business, in less than 2 days, she set up a meeting with the CEO of the company. I wish she was a part of my business development team. Governor-elect Ned was very kind to me in bringing me into the state of Connecticut, introducing me, and actually spending a lot of time on us as we are going through the process. Governor Malloy actually played a significant role. He made a lot of calls with me and to the businesses to support us in this journey. I'm very, very grateful to the businesses, the college ecosystem, and the government in supporting us on this journey. This is the start of an era for Connecticut, where we do believe that this can actually become a tech hub of the East Coast. And we think we can actually lead that process. Thank you again for being here.
Ravi, thank you very much. It has been an absolute pleasure working with you and your team. You promised to get this open this year, and you've done it, and I'm glad the building inspector is well fed. I want to thank everyone who's arrayed up here. I certainly want to thank Commissioner Smith, who did such an outstanding job on this particular endeavor, as well as every endeavor that we've been engaged in throughout the time that I've been governor. There's a reason that we've seen 100,000 jobs grown in the state of Connecticut over the last 8 years. And there's a reason that, along with Infosys, we are able to announce additional transactions with companies that represent the growth of 10,000 jobs just based on announcements that we made this year. The first 5 has now grown to first 19. Securing tens of thousands of jobs and bringing over 5,000 jobs, new jobs, to the state. Ravi, I want to go back to you. I know you promised 1,000, but I'm expecting 2,000. And you know, I did pitch on other parts of the state as well. So when you're ready, let's do one of these in Stamford, my old hometown. So. I also want to say to Ned, thank you very much. It was probably one of the most important introductions that I've had. Ravi's met a lot of important people, but I met Ravi. And Ned, I want to thank you for that introduction as well, and all that you've done to convince them that they should be here, and all that we were able to accomplish together. Mayor Bronin, I have to tell you that I think Mayor Bronin has done a simply outstanding job as the mayor. If you look at the housing that's been created, the new relationships with educational institutions, the relationships that did not exist between local government and the corporate community, it really has been an amazing few years that the mayor has had. At one point, I did call Ravi and remind him that he had promised that this would be in Hartford. I do want to say that, and so thank you very much for that commitment and honoring that commitment. But I want to thank the mayor for all that he's done. On the educational side, at Trinity, we could not have found a better partner than the current president of Trinity. She is a force unto herself, making investments on behalf of the college here in Hartford, and it's so great to see her, to be with her, to understand the strength that she has brought to that job. And Alan, I have to say, of Travelers, you know, it was 8 years ago, before I was sworn in to office, that my first large public speaking engagement was with the Travelers at one of your yearly meetings. And this was over at the convention center, and there were thousands of people arrayed there. And I had the audacity to say that, contrary to what people had been saying for decades, and that is that insurance jobs were leaving the state and our insurance sector would shrink. And so I had the audacity to say that. In fact, I think Paz questioned my sanity when I did that. But here, Commissioner Smith and I can announce, and actually it's already been written about, that we actually have more insurance jobs in the state of Connecticut than we had 8 years ago, reversing what was a decades-long shrinkage in that arena. And then, quite frankly, the Infosys investments here will mean that there'll be even more insurance industry jobs in the state of Connecticut. One of the things that I think Commissioner Smith did so exceedingly well was to analyze what our strengths were, and we promised to build on them. Analyze what our weaknesses were, and we promised to address them. And as I stand before you at this ribbon cutting with this important company, having made a groundbreaking decision to open one of their 4 centers in the entire United States, and to have one of those centers here in Hartford, is really quite remarkable, exceptional on their part, but quite frankly, it's the right decision. Connecticut is a great place to live. It is a great place to work. It is a great place to be educated in. It is a great place for us to retain more of our citizenry and invite other citizens from other states and other nations to be part of what we have going on in the state of Connecticut. And there's no greater endorsement of that than the investment that Ravi and his team have made in the state of Connecticut. So thank you very much, and it's great to be with you.
Thank you, Governor. To kind of hammer home Ravi's point about our commitment to the liberal arts majors, I'm a philosophy major. It's funny because when I started here in Connecticut in 2002, I actually started at the Hartford's Innovation and Tech Hub. And I think pretty close to the first day, my boss asked me, what are you ever going to do with a philosophy major? So, on the educational front, just a few quick words. One of the things that we like so much about and one of the things excited me about joining Infosys with this position is it's not just about the clients. Clients, we love you. This is why we're here and why we're in business. But to support the clients and to support the community, there are a lot of interactions, partnerships we're developing with the educators, with other folks in the ecosystem. And just, I'd like to thank some people that have been supporting us. Most of them are here. We have our representatives, Julio Concepcion and Joshua Hall, who are representing the Hartford districts around here. Representative Joe Arasimowicz, who's the Speaker of the House, and Representative Matthew Ritter, who's the House Majority Leader. I think in attendance we also have our Labor Commissioner, Kurt Westby, Insurance Commissioner, Katie Wade, and the Mayor of our partner to the left, Sherry Cantor. In addition to President of Trinity up here, we also have Dean Sonia Cardenas, who we've been working with daily on the Trinity projects. We've got representatives from UConn, Dr. Duncan Harris from the president of Capital Community College, who we're going to be working with us here, many people from MCC, Naugatuck, and of course Marco Jakian, who's the president of the Connecticut State and Community folks. We also have a bunch of partners to be. Matt Fleury, who's the CEO of the Connecticut Science Center, is here. We've got folks from Upward Hartford and Makerspace and Stanley Black & Decker and my old friends at PwC, who are also opening their innovation spaces here, or have opened their innovation spaces here in Hartford. So these are all the folks we're working with to support the clients, to support the community. And as the new kid, I got that job of thanking a bunch of people, knowing that we probably missed a lot. Those we missed, thank you. And as the new kid, I would also like to move on and introduce Governor-elect Lamont.
Jeff, I like the way Robbie said it. It's Governor Malloy and Governor-elect Ned, which I can go with. And Robbie, we've been working on this for a long time. Hey, let me just say, I see all the new Infosys recruits. If you want to come up here, there's plenty of room here in the front row. Let's go. We're so happy. Come on, we're so proud to have you here. So proud that you came. I think it's a little bit like my church, where the minister used to say you have to get here really early to get a pew in the back of the church. And Jeff, I want to say just one thing seriously. You mentioned George Herbert Walker Bush, who was raised here in Connecticut. It's a great Connecticut family. And his brother told me a story a few years ago that had me thinking on the way up here. And the family thought that President Bush was not doing very well. He may be in his last days, and he hadn't spoken in a long time, and his breathing was heavy. This was a few years ago. And the family got together and were all around him, saying their goodbyes, when President Bush raised his hands, opened his eyes, and said, "Hold the harps. Hold the harps." True story. And I was thinking about that because when Ravi and I met a little over 2 years ago, there were a lot of negative press about Connecticut. And we were a little down on ourselves. And GE had left, and woe was us. And it did take a little bit of convincing as Ravi came up and he said, "I want to come up and I want to take a look at Hartford." And I said, "Hold the harps." And got out of the car, and the driver had not been so nice to our great state, and came on up to Michael Cantor's office. And as you heard, the governor told our story, and Mayor Bronin told our story. And the business community said, "We believe in the state of Connecticut. We're committed to the state of Connecticut. And we want you to be here in Connecticut, and we're going to work together." And that's the spirit we need in this state. And it made all the difference. And that's how we can continue to work with the business communities. We try and recruit the next generation of folks here. And no more people leaving Connecticut because they can't get the talent they need. You know, Connecticut, we don't have silicon, or we may not have oil, but we've always had the best trained, most productive workforce in the world. That is the Connecticut calling card. That is the Connecticut calling card. And with Infosys here and the training program that we see to expand and grow with the folks who are here, folks coming out of Trinity, folks coming out of our community colleges, people moving to the state, all of a sudden people are going to say, I'm not leaving, I'm coming to Connecticut, and I'm coming to Hartford because of the quality of the talent we have and the 21st century skills that help us reinvent ourselves. That's the great strength we have, and that's why I'm so proud, Ravi, to be able to welcome you to our amazing state. And this is a chance for us to reinvent our city and our state as well. And Infosys will be a big part of that. So without further ado, I'm very proud to be able to say welcome to Connecticut. And I can tell you Mayor Luke Bronin is very proud to be able to say welcome to Hartford. Luke?
Thank you so much, Governor-elect Ned. Ravi, we are so proud and so excited to welcome Infosys to the great city of Hartford. To Commissioner Smith, Governor Malloy, your entire administration, for your commitment to making sure that we landed Infosys, but also for your commitment to making sure that building strong and vibrant cities is at the core of our economic development agenda, something that you have pursued from day one in that office. I am so deeply grateful. Everybody here, looking out at this audience, everybody here is a part of the work of making Hartford an innovation hub. And, if this announcement was a standalone thing, if all we were doing was welcoming a global digital leader to a beautiful new space in downtown Hartford, that alone would be significant. We would all be so proud and be so excited about it. What's even more exciting is that one of the reasons they're here is that there is something big going on in Hartford right now. Their innovation hub, Infosys Innovation Hub, one of the 4 that they're setting up in the country, is focused on 3 industry sectors: insurance, healthcare, and manufacturing. Those are the same sectors that our Innovation Places effort, our deliberate, strategic, long-term effort to build on our strengths, to make sure that this isn't just a place that happened to be home to insurance companies hundreds of years ago, or happened to be a place where the 19th century industrial revolution happened, but was the place where the innovation was happening now, where the next generation of industrial revolution was happening. Their commitment lines up perfectly with ours. And there's already been tremendous momentum. If you think about the fact that all of our major insurance companies are now partnered together in an InsurTech accelerator that's bringing promising startups around the world to the city of Hartford to do the innovation work that they were doing in Silicon Valley and do it right here instead. When you think about the fact that a company like Stanley Black & Decker that's been in Connecticut for 175 years decided that they're going to put their innovation team and also launch an accelerator right here in downtown Hartford. When we're very short way away from being able to announce a similar initiative focused on digital health. And when you look at what Upward Hartford, Shauna Schlossberg has done over at Upward, when you look at the fact that you're about to open the largest makerspace in New England right over at 960 Main, when you look at Reset, when you look at each company that's investing in its innovation team and putting it right here, this really is what an innovation ecosystem looks like. And Infosys, in making the decision to be here, I think recognizes what's happening, but just as important, accelerates that growth in a really, really powerful way. And that's why what we're doing here today is about more than just this office opening. It's about a global company planting its flag in a place where it sees a tremendous amount of energy and change. And what I hope everybody in this room who's come here to celebrate will do is not just celebrate today, but spread the word. Make sure that everybody you work with, every company you work with, every contractor you've got, every client you work with, tell them what's happening here. And tell them what Infosys has done. Tell them what Infosys saw right here. Now, one of the other things that Infosys saw, I think, was a business community that was re-engaged in the future of this city in a really powerful way. Alan, your personal leadership was so important. Chris Swift from the Hartford, Mark Boxer and the team over at Cigna, Elliot Joseph at Hartford Healthcare, and so many more picked up the phone personally to make sure that they were making clear how much it mattered to them that Infosys locate right here. That's the sign of a business community that is engaged, that understands what's possible right here. And so I want to say thank you to them. And finally, our educational institutions. You know, we don't usually think of Hartford as a college town. But if you think about the colleges in Hartford and around Hartford, you think about University of Hartford, Central Connecticut, Capital Community College, St. Joseph's, Trinity, UConn downtown. You think about the entire Connecticut State College and University system. All of that together, and of course Trinity, which I'm going to talk more about in a second, that's an extraordinary student base right here in our capital city. Despite the fact that we've had that concentration for a long time, those educational institutions weren't all working together and weren't necessarily synced up with the economic development work that we're doing. And I'll say that for a long time, Trinity had a reputation of kind of retreating behind its walls. With Joanne Berger-Sweeney's leadership, that's not true anymore. With the leadership of the presidents of the colleges around here, that's not true anymore. Mark Ojakian, that's not true anymore. These colleges understand that we're all in this together. And what Joanne has done to partner with Infosys, a liberal arts college partnering with a digital tech leader to create a pipeline of local talent, is incredible. It's farsighted, and it really demonstrates a changing mindset here in this city. And so, Joanne, it is a privilege to get this to turn this mic over to you and to thank you for what you've done. But before I give it up, let me just say again, Ravi, we're so excited to have you here. We look forward to a long and prosperous partnership that's great for Infosys, great for the city of Hartford, and great for the state of Connecticut. Governor Malloy, for everything you've done to prioritize economic development here, and Governor-elect Lamont, for being a governor who started working on growth before you ever became governor, who recognizes as well that we've got to make our cities be the economic engines that drive this state. Congratulations again for getting one hell of a budget director. Thank you, everybody. Congratulations. Welcome.
Oh, thank you very much. It's really a pleasure to be here. I will say that Trinity College is a very big institution, but I'm not very big. So, Jeff, I'm going to recommend some smaller chairs next time. So, it really is a pleasure to be here with this panel. And I want to say thank you, and what a delight it has been to work with Ravi and the entire Infosys team. I want to share with you that I think Ravi Kumar is a visionary who truly understands the value of a liberal arts education in an evolving and changing workforce. Liberal arts graduates don't merely answer the questions of today, they navigate next generation questions, right? I'm delighted to be here on this day of possibilities and momentum. As Trinity College's president, I'm especially proud of the close and forward-thinking partnership we have forged with Infosys. We share an ambitious vision to bridge the liberal arts and the future of digital technology. Trinity College, an institution that has been in and of Hartford for almost 200 years, will pursue several new initiatives with Infosys, all with the goal of developing a talent pool of liberal arts graduates who will thrive in the technology consulting space and who will want to remain in Connecticut after graduation. This innovative multi-year collaboration with Infosys will provide learning opportunities and concrete skills to liberal arts students, including those from Trinity College, and to Infosys employees. This partnership will have a home at our new downtown campus and innovation hub on Constitution Plaza. We will continue to champion the liberal arts in national conversations because we know that human-centered analytical skills associated with a liberal arts education are only going to be more relevant in the digital future. As a leader in higher education, I'm especially grateful that Infosys is an organization committed to continuous learning and education. Here in the greater Hartford area, as the mayor has suggested, we have 36,000 college students and 3,000 faculty members who are the intellectual driving force of the 11 colleges and universities that make up the Hartford Consortium of Higher Education. This is a remarkable resource that we must continue to harness, and this resource, I think, played a significant role in attracting Infosys to Hartford. Alongside our academic colleagues, we're also fortunate to collaborate with a robust constellation of industry partners in healthcare, insurance, financial services, and many of them are here on this occasion. I think this constellation of forces shares some similarities to neural connections and networks. That's what I study as a neuroscientist. As in the human brain, the more connections we form across networks and across various industries, the greater the likelihood of real creativity and breakthrough thinking. Our being together today, I believe, is a testament to what can happen when colleges and universities collaborate in new ways with business and government. Together, we have the potential to transform Hartford into an innovation and economic powerhouse. That's what we're building and celebrating here today. 3 years ago, I wrote in the Hartford Courant that the elements of innovation, creativity, and intellectual capital are just waiting to coalesce and gather momentum here in our region. And today, I'm starting to see that vision come to life. I want to leave you with one thought. The success of Infosys in Hartford will be the success of all of us. I know that I speak for others when I say that we are here to support you, and we very much look forward to the journey ahead together. Congratulations, Infosys. And I now have the pleasure of introducing another key Hartford partner, Alan Schnitzer, CEO of Travelers.
Thanks so much, President Berger-Sweeney. It's great to have you here. It feels like we've reached that point in the program where probably everything has already been said, but not everyone's had a chance to say it. So thank you. Thank you for indulging me. As you've heard, I'm Alan Schnitzer. I've had the privilege of leading Travelers, and Travelers has had the privilege of calling Hartford home for more than 150 years now. And so I'm very mindful of the history and the heritage that we have here, and it's worth, as we, at a moment like this, celebrate what Infosys has done, and when we look to the future, it's worth taking a minute just to reflect a little bit on the past. So right now we're in the middle of the fourth industrial revolution. But let's wind back the clock about a century to another industrial revolution. So the 1920s, Motor City, Detroit, a Model T rolled off the production line every 24 seconds. That's pretty amazing. So that booming auto industry led to a population boom in the city of Detroit, and at that time, Detroit was the fourth largest city in the United States. Imagine that. Detroit, bigger than Boston, bigger than Los Angeles, bigger than San Francisco. But here's the thing, in its heyday, in the midst of all that innovation, in the midst of all that prosperity, a city like Detroit had a secret weapon, and that secret weapon was Hartford, Connecticut. Ford and Chrysler may have made those cars, but Hartford made the assembly lines. You go back and look in the history books, Hartford made the tools that made just about everything else. And so that's what led Smithsonian historian, a guy named Eric Hintz, to call Hartford the Silicon Valley of the second industrial revolution. In fact, Hintz said this of that era: you don't get to Detroit without first going through Hartford. And that's our heritage. And so while today it may be more about the code than the road, and it may be more about networks than ironworks, with today's announcement, our friends at Infosys are making a really important statement, and that's Hartford remains as much a part of today's industrial revolution as it was a part of yesterday's industrial revolution. And we at Travelers, and I would hope everybody in this room, feels deeply, deeply accountable for making sure that the road to the future continues to go right through Hartford. So to do that, we need a vibrant economy, we need a culture of innovation, and we need a commitment to education, and that's exactly what this project does. And so let me just add my thanks to the people that are sitting behind me, Commissioner Smith, Ravi, Governor-elect Ned, of course the mayor, and President Berger-Sweeney. The work they've all done to make this possible has been really extraordinary, and the teamwork that's come together has made that possible. I do want to take just a second, just a special thanks to Governor Malloy as he concludes 8 years of service to this state. And I just want to say that, Governor, you've been an incredible supporter of the Travelers Championship, and thanks to your support, since we've been title sponsor, we've raised nearly $17 million for literally hundreds and hundreds of worthwhile causes and generated something in excess of an estimated $400 million for the local economy. Governor, we couldn't have done that without you, so thank you very much for your support and your service for the last 8 years. And finally, Ravi and the entire team from Infosys, I just want to say thank you for what you've done. This is important to us. This community will reciprocate and do everything we can to be important to you. And finally, welcome Infosys to the Hartford family. Thank you.
So thank you, everyone, for the support, the words. And now we've reached a moment that I know a lot of people have been waiting for. I know our general contractor, the PAC group, who put the bones together on this, Jeff Poe, and the Multi-Image Group. Thank you for all the sizzle, and to all the Infosys employees who have really been working some long hours to give this place its beating heart. We are now happy to gather everybody around.
Everybody go ahead. Please remain seated for just a moment. Please remain seated. So just a couple quick housekeeping notes. First off, we're going to have our media step over to the side here for some conversations with our dignitaries and VIPs. I know you're all excited to get up and check out this wonderful new technology and innovation hub. We're going to need about 10 minutes. So what we're going to do is I'm going to ask our tour guides first off to come on into this space. And what they're going to do is they're going to grab groups of 10. So it can be a little bigger, a little smaller, but let's not try to make it 20 or anything. So they're going to gather up groups of 10, and they're going to then be taking you off to some destinations here in the building. What we're going to do then is you'll have 5 to 10 minutes at each location, and we'll just go ahead and rotate around until we hit all of those spots. Any questions? Fantastic. Also, be sure to look for anybody that has a badge that says, I can help. They're here to answer any questions that you have. So we'll get our tour guides over here. And we're just going to mingle here for a few moments while we get organized, and then they'll take you to your destinations, okay? So please hang out here. There are restrooms, of course, available. Women's room is over here. Men's room is over in the pre-convene area. But please stay close in this general vicinity for about 10 minutes, okay, everyone? Thank you.